Live and alive. Look at that beautiful flag, brother. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day. Today is January 6th, Insurrection Day. That's right. Today's Patriot Day, folks. And we're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a fantastic one as long as they're patriots. Okay? The boys, girls, and MBs, I don't care. As long as they're goddamn patriots, I'm happy for them. That's right. As long as you're armed and ready to go, patriots, rise up. Whoo! Sheesh! Important day in American history, folks. January 6th. Happy January 6th for all who celebrate. Me and Kaya certainly celebrated, of course. Did you denounce January 6th? I would never denounce January 6th, and anybody who asked me to denounce January 6th, I'll never do it. MBs, never Biden. Yeah. Non-Bidenery. Happy White Juneteenth to all who celebrate. Yeah, I saw that tweet too. That was funny. Okay. That's it, baby. We got a right to bear arms, and by that I mean I got arms like a bear. Are you going to do GTA January 6th? Yes, I will. I'm never not doing, if there's a January 6th happening somewhere, I'll be there. Like, no matter what. You know what I mean? I will always participate. Hello, Hasan Piker. You should start an OnlyFans. This is better than Christmas? Hell yeah, brother. But we do love Christmas, because like, low-key, they're fucking trying to steal Christmas. You know what I mean? I'm become a bath guy. That's what I do. I tub it up. With the vest on? No, I don't go in the bath with the vest on. No. Where the hell did you get this hat? Jesus is my boss? I have no idea. I literally, this morning, I was going through my closet, and I have entirely too many fits that work for this kind of cosplay. I think I have more of this kind of fit. Like, I mean, I have different kinds of like political fits, obviously, but god damn, do I have so much. You need more USSR fits? I have some USSR fits too. Hasan, I had a nightmare. You turned into a reactionary conservative. Oh, you mean like got really successful finally? Are you tasing your balls out of solidarity with your fallen brothers? I tase my balls for funsies, brother, not simply out of solidarity. Yeah, this will be a deleted tweet by Jabuki. Another great tweet. Call me Ashley Babbitt, the way he busted on my chest. Banger tweet. I started following you 3 years ago today. Wait, really? Wow. This is like, I mean, this was my peak viewership in my career. January 6, 2021, baby. Or 2020, I guess, not 2021. Oh my God. Time is just merging. I always mess that up. Was it 2021? It was 2021. Oh my God, we're in 2024. Oh my God, it has, oh my God. There was like 60K people in here? No, there was, when January 6th was happening, on this day, there were on January 6th, it was like 270K or something, or 250K, something like that. Oh, 223,000 was my peak. And then I think like I got disconnected twice. So like while I was streaming on January 6th, I got boom, disconnected once, and then it picked back up again, and then boom, disconnected twice. I remember being DC'd. And it was very frustrating. Bro added a few interests to his peak viewership. Man, I don't care. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. What's the difference? It's like 200K to 200. Once you're past 200K, it's like, okay, 220, 270. Who gives a crap? It was a lot of fun. When Trump wins again, there will be a lot of fun opportunities like that as well. So it wasn't just like fun. It was just like the stupidest thing too. I think that's what made it so great. The beauty of January 6th was that, like, it was just so incredibly stupid, right? It was the most like idiotic Amerifat moment of all time. It just was great. That's exactly in the pocket of what I enjoy. It's not super high stake. These are all like small business owners, and they're not like ideologically aligned. They're just ideologically aligned with fascism. They're not genuinely interested in doing fascism or don't even know how to do it. Does that make sense? So it's like perfect. It's a group of people that you can calm down with like jalapeno poppers trying to do like an insurrection and with no organizational capabilities whatsoever. Are you wearing a plate carrier without plates? Yes, I have a plate carrier with plates in it too. I just don't want to wear it because it's heavy. Why would I wear a plate carrier with plates when I'm, you know, LARPing? y'all Jalapeno poppers. I'm very pliable to the jalapeno poppers, but only the cream cheese so good. Accurate LARP, no plates anyways. Yeah, also, technically, no plates in the plate carrier is the most, like, MAGA thing you can do. Because MAGAs are oftentimes fat and don't do that. Like, they don't rock with that anyway. Just waiting for some MAGA motherfuckers to show up and complain my culture's not your costume. Yeah. Are the guns you have real? Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. I told my mom about TrueAnon board game and she said that January 6th was not funny and she doesn't think a game around it is appropriate. She was so serious about it. Yeah, liberals. It's funny because, like, the people that participate in American politics take January 6th very seriously. The people that think American politics is just like whatever and silly goofiness don't. That's the big difference. If you're a liberal, you look at January 6th and you're like, this is my 9/11 times whatever, you know, like the Israel style, the 9/11 mathematics that you engage in, right? If you're a Republican, you take it seriously too, because Trump has decided to take it seriously and goes like, oh yeah, this is the greatest political move and the greatest, you know, anger or the greatest like suppression of a political movement of all time, right? And the only correct way to look at it personally for me is that it's incredibly funny, incredibly stupid, like a bunch of diabetic fat HVAC business owners that flew in from Arkansas, you know, storming the halls of the Capitol only for like the least, like for no real discernible purpose, with no real tangible political goal. The only goal being that like maybe they can disrupt some symbolic part of the vote authorization as though like that would have been successful is awesome. Because think about it this way, even if they were successful, and they kind of were successful, I guess, in stopping the process for the day, but even if they were permanently able to, like, I don't know, delete the ballots or something, what do you think? We just don't have backups? Like, did they think that every single American was going to turn around and be like, well, I guess we have to do another election, you know what I mean? Or, well, I guess we just have to let Donald Trump be the president. There were certainly people there that were like, oh, I'm going to capture Nancy Pelosi. Like, I have my zip ties and whatnot. Like, yes, there were definitely more serious people there, but even those guys are losers. Does that make sense? Their most rugged operators were still absolutely stupid as hell. Yeah, this is like a very liberal way. Happy Insurrection Day, boy, please. By the way, here, I posted on Instagram as well. I said, Happy Insurrection Day to those who celebrate. Here's baby Kaya at January 6th. January 6th, insurrection gets cravings kick in. Yeah, this is like this is the real American hero, by the way. And it's completely ridiculous that they arrested him for just wanting to have fun. Sanus Bass Pro Shop customer. I mean, you're saying that sarcastically. I'm saying that unironically. This is the Sanus Bass Pro Shop customer, because you go to a Bass Pro Shop and they have a aquarium in there. Like, what are you going to do? Not do a cannonball into it? He did everything right and they indicted him. Straight up. Straight up, I'll say it. The video of this is unfortunate. Let's just say he's a grower, not a shower. I think it's honestly incredibly brave for growers, not showers, to actually conduct themselves in this way in broad daylight in public. I will admit, I think it is incredibly brave. If you're a grower and not a shower, and you are able to put yourself in a situation where your pee-pee is going to be hanging out, especially in a cold environment. Oh boy. I respect that so much. The amount of respect I have for that is, woo, Whew, a lot. Folks, a lot of respect for that. You are neither a grower nor a shower. No, I am a grower, not a shower. But it's okay. I still like my penis. Dude, I was listening to NPR, the Politics Hour one last night. And it's like, it's so interesting. It's so interesting what they choose to be real about, you know what I mean? What they choose to like take a position on. January 6th, they take a position on it. Like the language that NPR uses when talking about Trump supporters and like their delusions about the election is so clear. They very clearly define it as like Trump is wrong for saying the election was stolen, the big lie. They even use words like the big lie. It's across the board. Like every mainstream outlet, with the exception of Fox News, will basically very clearly define January 6th as an insurrection and like devastating, terrible for democracy. And they also talk about like Trump speaking on the election as like stolen as a really messed up thing, right? And I find it very interesting that they have that kind of smoke for January 6th and Trump lying about like the election or whatever, election denial, things like that, like Joe Biden stealing the election. But they never use such I guess like openly biased language when discussing, but they never show moral clarity when discussing genocide in Palestine, right? And I personally find that very interesting. It's just odd when you never hear that with police brutality cases. There's so much neutrality in the language. It's done in a way that leaves you feeling like, did a cop actually shoot someone directly? Or did a bullet fly in the vicinity of a person, of an assailant on its own? When it comes to like Israel's ethnic cleansing in Gaza, there is no such, there's so much moral ambiguity. But when it comes to things like January 6th, they're like, this is the death of democracy. Or when it comes to things like Trump's lies about the election, it goes deep actually, because a concerning event on TV threatening their establishment matters much more to them than people being slaughtered overseas. Yeah, it almost feels like they don't care about the things that affect people who don't look like them. Okay, but like police brutality does still impact people that look like them. It's just very interesting that they only have that kind of smoke. They only have that kind of smoke for things that are attacking symbols of democracy and institutions, and never have that kind of attitude for like actual horrifying war crimes. And I find that to be quite devastating. But that is, I guess, part of the reason why we celebrate days such as this one. Do you think that it's weird that I have the take that the insurrection would be justified if the claims were true? No, I think that the insurrection would be totally justified if the claims were true. It's just that the claims were not true, obviously, and the insurrection was also ridiculously sloppy. Like there was no discernible goal, no real movement, no real momentum. It was just like the most perfect American politics moment, dude. It was like they had a Disneyland version of the insurrection.
What happened to you?
I got maced.
You got maced.
By the police.
And what happened? You were trying to go inside the Capitol?
I made it like a foot inside and they pushed me out and they maced me.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
Yeah. What a classic. I mean, that's definitely the attitude that a lot of these fucking idiots had. You know what I mean? Imagine if the Occupy movement only showed up for one day and one day only, low energy conservatives. Yeah. There was a grassroots mobilization component to this entire thing, but there was also a tremendous amount of astroturfing, which is precisely why you never see that same energy, same momentum, whatsoever recreated in any of the Trump events now. Why? Because Turning Point USA isn't busing people from different parts of the country anymore. Why? Well, because, like I said, they are not personally sending in people. And when you don't do that, when you don't pay for people's travel, when you don't astroturf it, you're not going to be able to get that many people out in the streets. In the same way that like real activism, real grassroots activism in the form of like, protesting against police brutality during the George Floyd protests, like that kind of stuff is real. It's always hilarious to me, however, when conservatives project again, like they always do, and say things like, oh, George Soros is paying for people to go out and protest. And it's like, that's not real. You're personally projecting, because that's how it works with conservative movements. There isn't enough mobilization in and of itself on an issue, because why would there be, right? Who is going to mobilize on I guess, like, there isn't enough passion on tax cuts or tort reform or deregulation so that, DuPont Chemical can keep dumping toxic pollutants into your water supply. Those are the things that conservatives actually care about. Like, but you're not going to be able to mobilize on that issue. So you have to find other issues, like social issues, that you can try and mobilize around. But the problem is conservative social issues bring out the sweatiest, worst losers, right? It brings out the worst freaks. Like, we got our own freaks too. We got our most passionate freaks out there on the left. And yeah, sure, those guys are a little crusty. But ultimately, real progressive momentum and progressive mobilization is done on actual tangible harm being done to an entire population, like police brutality. Police brutality brings out a lot of people. Why? Because there's very real people who are impacted by it, and it's a real issue that it's a real cause that you can mobilize on, right? That is precisely the reason why, there is real grassroots mobilization happening on a lot of progressive issues, and there isn't necessarily a lot of grassroots happening on conservative issues, unless you're talking about like Planned Parenthood and the like. But even then, there's a tremendous amount of big money pushing the mobilization on that front too, on abortion, on issues such as that. There's a lot of moneyed interest. The top post of all time on the website that replaced the Donald subreddit is from January 5, and it says, "See you all in DC tomorrow, Patriots," with thousands of deleted comments under it. Really demonstrates the organizational capacity. That's why I love and I'm fascinated by January 6th, because it's so incredibly American. It's so perfectly American. It's such a perfect American fuck up in every sense of the word. Like, no real mobilization occurring on boundaries that are just so silly overall. Objective failure. What happens when you bring together the worst small business tyrants from all around the country? Don't forget the landlords. Yeah, I mean, of course, there were people on PJs and stuff. What is really funny about this is also that, like, the FBI never gave up on it. The FBI never gave up on, like, punishing the January 6th insurrectionists. Like, they still to this day have, I think, 80 people that are persons of interest that they have yet to prosecute, and they've still prosecuted like hundreds. 3 people today were finally prosecuted and arrested. It's awesome. What ended up happening was, originally everybody distanced themselves from it. 3 years out from the issue, 3 years out from the madness, we have now officially turned around on it completely. If you look at polling, like, right as it happened, a lot of Republicans were like, this is unacceptable. Like, Mitch McConnell came out and was like, we need to put an end to this madness right now. And then the liberals were like, oh my God, a voice of wisdom. Like, you're so sick, Mitch McConnell. Let's forget that, like, you played a significant role in putting these crazies in positions of power because you just, wanted to do a crazy amount of you wanted to do all the deregulation you wanted to get away with. I was talking to my dad on the phone, and he was so confused and skeptical about how Capitol Police just let people walk in. I wasn't like, it's going to blow your mind when I tell you about the broader political inclinations of law enforcement profession. Yeah, 100%. This is still the all-time greatest January 6th post. Imagine spending the better part of the last 5 years having your brain and ego melted by uninterrupted /poll exposure, flying to Washington in the middle of a pandemic to hear Trump whine about Oprah and Mike Pence at a rally, marching up to Congress on his orders to smash shit and then mill around aimlessly. You go home and hear that Biden won anyway. All of your favorite Twitter news sources named like Patriot Newsman of the West with avatars of Roman statues have posted your photo online and are labeling you a gay communist Antifa actor. Then the next day, the God Emperor you pasted into Warhammer memes puts out a video cucking himself and bending the knee. I'm sorry, those were heinous acts, but please let me tweet again, Jack. You can't leave D.C. because the airlines have dubbed you a flight risk. You can't stay because the cops are actively looking for you after one of their own died. Your roommate at the only hotel that would accept you is a guy named Base Kekistani 1488 who wants to show you his Goblin Slayer torrents. The sun is going down and you're getting cold. Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, it is. It's totally awesome. And it was wonderful. And yet, the hilarious part about this is that Trump very clearly demonstrated that he did not care about these people whatsoever, and like has only now, once years have gone by, basically, he's only now going back on it and being like, well, they're political prisoners and we must free them. So it's such a classic political opportunist moment. Like, he is just a pawn thing. Also, here's another great one. Seattle PD fires husband-wife duo who were at the Capitol on January 6th. This was another great one. January 6th rioter nabbed in Bumble dating app. Sting pleads guilty to assaulting officers. There's HasanAbi heads who outed their dad and got their dad into criminal trouble. That's like, this is a real thing. That's a real, yeah. HasanAbi heads that snitched on their own parents. That was pretty funny. Andrew Taake was turned in by a Bumble user who used a dating app to elicit confessions from Donald Trump supporters who took part in a Capitol attack. He gave like $10,000 raised not from his own money to legal aid. Oh, that's the other thing. He only gave 10 grand to legal aid. $10,000 only. Dude, I have given so much more to like random GoFundMes, okay, than Donald Trump has given to his own political movement. It's so awesome. It's not even his own money, I don't think. 10 grand from like campaign funds, I think, maybe. Not even his own personal funds. You know the girls love hearing about your location on January 6, 2021. Yeah, I mean, I raised like $3 million, but I gave more to the BLM funds out of pocket. You know what I mean?
Joining us now is Guy Reffitt's son, Jackson Reffitt.
He's literally wearing my merch in this. He's got the Hideo Kojima Metal Gear Solid poster and wearing the HasanAbi merch. The HasanAbi Bernie merch.
I'm not happy at all, and I haven't been happy through this whole situation. No one in my family has either. But to say I'm surprised would be a lie. I mean,
yeah. That's awesome. I wonder if he still is a HasanAbi head, or if he's like, I wonder if he's still a fan, or if he's like one of the fallen fans. Why do you have the box context on YouTube? This is because it's about January 6th. There's like automatic context boxes on stuff like vaccines and January 6th, like things that liberals care about. There was one on your vid about CRT. If you're curious, that person who turned his father for January 6th Kojima fan is still a fan of yours via their Twitter. Oh, thank God. I was worried that it was gonna be like a fallen fan situation because they hate my foreign policy takes or something. Yeah, I want to relive the greatest day of my life, January 6th, when I was at the Capitol storming. I'm sorry, Felix said the exact same thing. I'm going to read it about the Bass Pro Shop. He said, a guy with this small of a resting... This is why a lot of people are always like, oh, Hasan, I heard this take on Chapo. And I'm like, bitch, I said it before they did. What do you mean? Half the time. Okay? Here is another here's another indication. Here's another instance of like parallel thinking that happened in identical moments. Remember how I was talking about the Bass Pro Shop guy being super brave? Felix says, a guy with this small of a resting dick state doing this is really brave. I know it sends a bad message, but I sort of think they should give him a medal. You definitely shouldn't go to a place where people are taking their families and show your really small dick, but still. He said the exact same thing 2 minutes ago. Because, you know why he said the exact same thing that I said? Okay? For the Bass Pro Shop hero who should be... When I say we need to free the prisoners, when I say we need to free the political prisoners, I'm talking about the Bass Pro Shop guy. Make no mistake. The shopper, the Bass Pro Shop shopper who dove into the aquarium with his dick out, with his tiny dick. You know why Felix had the same exact take that I did? Because it's the right one. It's the only one. Fellas, if you have a tiny dick, if you're a fucking grower and not a shower, okay, especially, and you put yourself in a cold environment, if you put yourself in a cold environment, you're a hero. You're doing a lot for growers out there. Many growers do not have the courage, do not have the bravery to be able to show their penis in a cold environment like that. Stop being a joke thief. This is stolen valor. Yes, I stole Felix's joke by using my time machine.
By
his penis is so small, I feel like I could show it on stream and it would not be like censored, except like, you know, it would be like a boogie situation. I would get TOS. Oh, she's pressing buttons. Calm down. No. Anyway, guys, love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.